Are you facing problems to start off with your thesis or dissertation? Is your university not supporting you or guiding you? Are you stressed about the deadline of the submission of your thesis or dissertation? Hello everybody, today I Gitesh Gupta is here with a very useful and informational video for all the masters and PhD scholars who wish to complete their thesis or dissertations on time and also are facing problems in starting off with their thesis or dissertation. Before starting off, I'd like to discuss what a thesis is actually or what a dissertation is actually. A thesis or dissertation is basically a report of your research wherein you address your research work in a detailed manner under various components or headings. So if you are facing problems in starting off with your thesis, I'll be telling you today the structure of a thesis or dissertation so that you know where to start off and how to proceed with it. And also I'll be telling you various components and a little bit about those components too. The first component of a thesis or dissertation is the abstract. An abstract is basically a short description of the objectives, methods, results and conclusions of your thesis or dissertation. The second component that you have to be aware about is the table of content or the index. An index basically comprises of all the headings or subheadings of the chapters of your thesis or dissertation. It basically portrays an outline or structure of your thesis or dissertation. Now the third component that I'd like to tell you about is the introduction of a thesis. It basically is the chapter 1 of your thesis. It usually contains brief of keywords from your title, significance of your research, problem statement, objectives, hypothesis, motivation of research and the limitations of your research. Now jumping on to the next component, which is very important, it is the literature review. It is an evaluation on the previous research on the topic, showing that there are gaps that your research will attempt to fill. Now the next component, which is also known as chapter 3, is the methodology. The methodology chapter basically contains the methods that you choose to gather the data or information, how the data or information is analyzed, and the justification as to why you chose those methods. Now jumping on to the next component, which is also known as chapter 4, is the results and discussions. The result and discussion chapter basically consists of the results that you have acquired through the methods that you have opted, and the discussion part basically contains your analysis and the interpretation of the data that you have gathered, and also the comments on your result and the explanation of what they mean. Now the seventh component is basically the conclusion of all the previous 6 components. It therefore is called as conclusions or recommendations. This is where you highlight that your research objectives have been achieved. You can also mention your personal learnings here and also give suggestions for your future research. Now the last component that I am going to tell you about is the references. It basically contains all the names, links or information about all the sources that you have used to research on the topic that is finalized for your thesis or your dissertation. It is also called as citing your research content. Now before I end this video, I am going to tell you all that these are basically the general components, but the components vary from university to university. For example, I told you about the component of results and discussion. Some universities consist or say that you have to do it in 2 parts, whereas some universities say that you have to do it in 1 part. So that completely depends from university to university. So it is my strong suggestion to you all that before you start off with your thesis or dissertation, take proper guidelines or the structural analysis or the structural guidelines of your university so that you know which direction you have to go into. If the university or your allotted supervisor is not able to provide you with those university guidelines of the structure of the thesis, what I'd suggest you is have a word with any of your senior and ask him about the structural guidelines, or visit the university's website also. Sometimes universities submit a sample of the thesis or dissertation that you have to prepare, and also you can ask the senior to have an overview on his or her thesis. We also have our in-house research team that can help you in your thesis or dissertation. If you want, you can contact them on the number given below. They will help you in every possible way to meet out the deadlines of your thesis or dissertation. So I hope the video was useful and informational enough. Thank you for watching the video till the end and have a good day.